So hello everybody. Okay, so welcome to Rumbi Uncensored Late Night Show. Today we're going to be looking at SADC. Okay, the Extraordinary Summit. What a time. What a time to be alive. Yo, I just want to say, if it's your first time to pass through this channel, I'm asking to subscribe and make sure that you ring the bell, because every time I'm live, you'll be notified immediately. Or every time I drop a video, you will be the first one to watch it. Also, guys, my regulars that I love, thank you so much for sticking around. We need to have a conversation at SADC Extraordinary Summit. I know this is literally like our last straw. We have seen elections failed, and we know what's going on in Zimbabwe currently. We know what's happening in our country. It's a mess. And we're looking up to SADC so we can hear what they're saying. But quite interesting, HAKAINDE HICHILEMA confirmed Zimbabwe is on the agenda. You know, we've been asking when they met, and then we never heard about Zimbabwe. Some people are saying, no, there's nothing that's going to happen. Forget about SADC. It's a lie. It is a lie. Listen to what Hichilema had to say about SADC, because we don't want to assume things. We want to make sure we have good evidence, we have proof of what we're talking about. So take a listen to what Hichilema had to say.
For the Zimbabwe elections, my answer, very simple answer to that, yes, that item is on the agenda. It was on the agenda for the Monday summit. We didn't conclude, we didn't reach that item. This Saturday, that item is going to be discussed in Angola. It's our wish, it's our desire, all of us, that the democratic process in Congo, one major item being elections, will happen in December, difficult as it may be, and also that it will be free, fair, peaceful.
I love that. We're going to repeat again. Very important.
Zimbabwe elections. My answer, very simple answer to that, yes, that item is on the agenda. It was on the agenda for the Monday summit. We didn't conclude, we didn't reach that item. This Saturday, that item is going to be discussed in Angola. It's our wish, it's our desire, all of us, that the democratic process in Congo, one major item being elections, will happen in December, difficult as it may be, and also that it will be free, fair, peaceful.
Good. You heard him. Hichilema confirmed Zimbabwe is still on the agenda. ZANU-PF have been trying so hard to push the narrative that no, it is over, especially after that introduction, you know, the greetings that were actually dropped by the president of Angola at the last meeting that they had on a virtual meeting. You remember that? And ZANU-PF began to push this propaganda online that, oh, it is over, forget about it, you have heard we had a free, fair, credible election. And I'm sitting on the other side, I'm like, what did you want them to say? You wanted them to greet me. Some Mnangagwa was, you know, saying to him, your elections were flawed. I mean, this is a diplomatic meeting, to cry out loud. Of course, they were going to greet him respectfully, but then getting into the nitty-gritties of the reason why they were meeting. Well, sometimes we need to just be diplomatic. You know what I mean? I understand we are desperate. It's understandably so. Also, there's a propaganda machinery that has been unleashed by ZANU-PF, especially on Twitter. Yo, I don't know how many ghosts are there, or ghost account, where they're just pushing lies day in, day out. We need to understand that anything that pertains to diplomacy, it is something that has to take a bit of understanding, processes, and also when you're approaching a person when they're wrong from a diplomatic point of view, you don't attack them. Even when you know that they're wrong, there's a way that you bring up the conversation. It was on the agenda because it's so important. They've seen the report. I mean, what is the reason why SADC has to send observers? Is to make sure the election is free, fair, and credible. So sometimes we need to drive our emotions away and really have to be in honesty, you know, with one another. And then they've received the report. They've seen EU reported as well. Elections were flawed. AU, our local observers, we have seen social media too, that the elections were not free and fair and credible. They saw it. So now they have all these, reports. Is to wait for the meeting and sit down and begin to address. You heard him. Dr. Mumba made it very clear. Where after the Liberia's, Liberia, elections, he said it is to our good that we have fair, credible elections in Africa. Because if we don't, there are consequences that we have to suffer. Remember, even Zimbabwe is in a mess because of the coup. We spoke earlier on that the reason why we are in this mess today is because we sanitized a coup in 2017. That could have been the time if we understood better. I didn't have a clue. I don't know if you had a clue. I didn't have a clue of what they were doing there. I just say anything that could take Robert Mugabe, praise the Lord. Little did I know that that system was so deep. You find ourselves in this chaos. They're saying it is enough. We are tired of having challenges in Africa. So we have to drive away the issue of, illegal elections or sham elections, but make sure that we introduce free, fair, and credible elections. We had Hichilema saying it is on the agenda. Also, Nelson Chamisa confirmed as well, Zimbabwe is still on the agenda. Let's hear what SADC has to say regarding this election. The election was a sham. Not only that, today we are having this sham of a judgment. What an embarrassment from the judiciary. We thought maybe the judiciary would stand up and say, hey, we'll protect our name. Unfortunately, because of this coup that we sanitized, we are suffering the consequences of any flawed election. You cannot cut corners to destiny. It doesn't work like that. You have to follow the process. But the process is not easy. My dad used to say, the life of the devil is sweet or bitter. He can act like he's giving you the entire life. He's a master illusionist. He's luring you to pain. And you think, oh my God, it's just working for me. No. But life with God is sweet. It's bittersweet. You act like things are tough. You know what I mean? But we keep pushing each other. Yes, some people are going to die in the process. Some are going to be hurt in the process. That's why it's called sacrifice. It's not going to be easy, but at the end of it all, we are going to come out with a concrete solution to the problem. We have to walk through the process. Life with the devil is sweet bitter. That's what's going on with ZANU-PF. It's like the things are working for them. You see, you are abducting them, you are killing them, you are cutting corners, you are buying that person. No! It's the enemy who's luring them. Wait and see the end of this. Things are not going to be okay. When you are submitting yourself to the manipulation of the wicked, it comes with a huge cost, harsh cost. But when you subject yourself to principles, it may take time, but at the end of the day, you come out victorious. Life with God is bittersweet. It's a process, but in the end, you come out a conqueror. That's where we are now. Let's follow the process of SADC. Don't rush, chill. So Newswalk said, as the Newswalks always reported on this issue of late, Zimbabwe has been on the critical Southern Africa Development Community SADC emergence meetings agenda over its recent shambolic and disputed elections. As a result, Zimbabwe was discussed today at the Heads of State and Government Extraordinary Summit in Luanda, Angola, chaired by President João Lourenço. Zimbabwean President Emmerson Mnangagwa attended the meeting. Other leaders present were Cyril Ramaphosa of Southern Africa, HAKAINDE HICHILEMA Zambia, Samia Suluhu Hassan Tanzania, Etienne Tshisekedi Tshilombo, oh my God, is that the president of DRC? Tshilombo DRC, and the vice president of Namibia, Nangolo Mumba, among others. Discussing about Zimbabwe and DRC. DRC is another country where there's chaos. I do remember one of the most heartbreaking videos that I watched. I think you guys saw it. There were people from DRC that were stuck in Pretoria, literally staying very close to UNHCR, and they were being removed. I've never seen heartbreaking videos like that. Kids were crying, didn't have a place to go, and they were taking them, they were sent to what's the name of that place before they take them back to their country? And they were crying that they were there before, there were snakes there. Let me not even say that. If there be anything that I hate in my life, it's a snake. They were saying that they were there by Malandela, waiting for them to be deported. And they said the place was horrible. Another country where there's absolutely nonsense going on is DRC. The Republic of Congo. But are you surprised? Because they're very close to Zimbabwe Republic. Congo and Zimbabwe buddies. Are you surprised with the chaos that's going down there? Show me your friends, and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends. Are you surprised that some of our brothers and our sisters died? They were trying to cross Limpopo. Show me your friend. I'll show you who you are. I'm not surprised that DRC and Zimbabwe are chaotic. SADC should stand and put their foot and said, it is enough. We must bring sanity into this continent by doing what's right. Bring people to book. No one is above the law. They understood the requirements of what is needed from SADC. That should be respected. If you fail to follow the process, then you have to suffer the consequences. There must be free, fair, and credible election. The sham election is not any longer. We are sitting today with another dramatic event of the calling of our citizen coalition, members of parliament, it's sanitary. But somebody said this, that they assume that it may be just a play against Mr. Mnangagwa, especially with the abduction of Takuzwa. That's why, when we know that SADC is going to sit and having such a very important meeting, then there's an abduction of a young members of parliament, beautiful young man, a blessed young man. I'm just like, I just can't even begin to fathom the nonsense that people are doing in the country. They said, why? Some people are assuming that people are just trying to sabotage Mr. Mnangagwa. Those allegations that are just circulating on social media. Even when you look at this, with this today, with the judgment against the Citizen Coalition for Change MPs, what would SADC say after seeing this? That there's some people that were voted by the people are the people that are being recalled to be out of parliament. So who's going to be there? Their own people that they prefer. We all know that there are so many members of parliament who are staying in town, who are actually members of parliament of rural areas that they don't even stay. And there's chaos there, no developments in the rural, because the people are staying in town where they're drinking coffee and moving from corner to corner. And in the rural area, nothing is moving there. It's a problem. It's a problem the way that we select our leaders. So we know and we're hoping for sure that there's going to be an outcome. That one, I'm positive. I am very positive about SADC. I am very, very positive. I am positive. Of course, I'm very, very positive about SADC. I know some people are not, because they're saying, no, based on what used to happen, we're not sure. No, I'm very sure something is going to happen. I am positive. I know something is going to come out of this. Honestly, SADC is tired, and thank God for Hichilema. Mr. Hichilema, do what you can. The wisdom of God must lead you to the right direction. Please help us. We need to come out of this mess. We definitely need to come out of this mess. They also went on to say, so SADC leaders today received a report on Zimbabwe's recent disputed elections, which is now part of its official records. At the extraordinary summit in Luanda, Angola, a communique is issued after the summit said summit received an updated on the elections in the SADC member states and noted the report of the SADC election observer mission to the harmonized elections in the Republic of Zimbabwe held in August 2023 and the general elections in the Kingdom of Eswatini in September 2023. President Emmerson Mnangagwa and his Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Frederick Shava tried and failed to stop SADC from discussing Zimbabwe. Do you remember that the last meeting they had, they wanted to discuss Zimbabwe, and Frederick Shava allegedly and Mr. Mnangagwa were trying to stop SADC discussing Zimbabwe. Remember, because it was virtually, so they knew that we were going to get hold of the information. Unfortunately, they said, okay, we can proceed when we sit down. And there were also allegations that there was a glitch in terms of network. Does that surprise you? There was a glitch that people could not communicate properly, and then they opted to sit in person. That was in Angola, which happened today. And so President Mnangagwa, with his Foreign Affairs and the National Trade Minister Shava, tried but failed to stop SADC from discussing Zimbabwe. This is the Newsworks report that the Zimbabwean situation poses a political and security threat to the region, especially due to tidal waves of illegal immigration across borders triggered by the country's protracted economic and social problems. About 4 million of Zimbabweans, a quarter of the population, have fled home due to political and economic woes. This means SADC must not act on Zimbabwe by ensuring that there is political settlement. A team will be appointed to deal with this situation. Praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. I just can't wait. I need a solution. I need a solution to this problem. Zimbabwean problem, we need a solution in the country. You heard Hichilema. For those that just join us, make sure that you listen to what Hichilema had to say, that it was definitely going to be focusing on elections in Africa. Free, fair, credible elections. There's no any other way around. And Mumba was also very adamant on that we need free, fair, and credible election. If we don't do that, then we are in trouble. It's very important for us to respect elections. And I wanted you guys to actually take a listen to what Runyaro was saying. Runyaro spoke on one of the space that was on Twitter that was actually held by Ango Gerard, if I'm not mistaken. And he said something so important regarding the coup. Please take a listen. I swear. Oh, it's that for. So Runyaro is one of our brother, actually, who spoke, that was on Twitter space, actually. Very important submissions right there. Take a listen, please.
So we must not really play around with people's emotions. That we try to say we are building democratic movements to challenge the regime within the ambit of the law. It cannot work because they will abuse the law. They can take any person from the street and make them appoint themselves to rule over any political party. And the courts are going to rubber stamp that. So it is now up to the likes of Chamisa to come out and say, we erred in shielding the coup. What we as citizens do not really know or understand is to what extent were people rubber stamping the coup? Was it because this was something that was planned ahead? Because we know for a fact the death of Morgan Tsvangirai, or his near death, was somehow choreographed to go along with the coup. In other words, they were saying, once we see that Morgan Tsvangirai is not very strong, we can go ahead, because they knew that Tsvangirai would not stand for being used for a coup, then live to see it. He would have been fighting in the street. He would have been calling the people to say, I am going to lead you against this military regime. He would have made enough noise that the SADC summits that we hear about, they would have had no choice but to come out and say, government of Zimbabwe, what you did, we don't stand for it as SADC. But currently what we have is people who are now looking at it to say, if we say Zimbabwe is now an outright military dictatorship, we are going to have to retrace our footsteps and say, we erred in standing behind this thing. What we endorsed initially as having been done above board through parliament process was actually a sham that was done because we had been promised that we are moving into a new dispensation. This is what hoodwinked the opposition into rallying behind the coup. If it is indeed that people within the movement for change, which is MDC or whatever we call it now, if it is that they were participants in ensuring that the military regime takes over, then they need to look themselves in the mirror. We can post as many verses as we want, but we need to also look and ask to say, the things that were done, how does God see those things? You can claim to say, I'm on the side of God and God is in it, but look, if God doesn't show up when you say he's in it twice, then you need to reflect and say, God, why are you not showing up if you are saying you are in it? Where did I go wrong? Where did I overstep so that I can correct those steps? As a nation, this is where we find ourselves. The judges are going to maybe exercise impartiality when dealing with minor issues. Maybe you have fought with your neighbor, or maybe you are arguing with your wife and you decide to divorce. But if it's even a political divorce, like we see, for example, the divorce of Chiwenga and his wife, the judges are also going to take a cue from the state in terms of what they must do, how they must act. This is where we find ourselves as a nation, and we are very vulnerable. The opposition must come clean and say, we cannot operate in this environment. It is something we created, we own up to it. We need a cure for the coup and the environment it has created. Otherwise, we are wasting people's time and wasting people's lives as we pretend that we are moving forward. yet we are not. We are in a military dictatorship. The executive is directing what must happen at parliament, at judiciary level. There's no more separation of power to talk about.
Right, okay.
I completely understand, but this is what I'm going to say. Honestly, I think one thing we need to also agree as Zimbabweans is we must be also, we don't need to keep beating ourselves up. The coup happened. We supported it. Almost most people did support the coup. I did. We believed in our people. Just because we believed in Mr. Mnangagwa and Mr. Chwenga and the bodies, we thought they were going to be on our side. We can't suffer because we believed in our brothers. We knew they had what it takes. We assumed they had what it takes. But they threw us under the bus. We're betrayed. We can't keep on attacking ourselves to say because we sanitized the coup. No, we believed that we were going to have a better Zimbabwe. They promised us it was a new dispensation. And we believed them. You had Mr. Mnangagwa speaking, to a journalist and saying, in Zimbabwe it's going to be 5 years if you win elections. And then you can also run for another 5 years. But now we are seeing this manipulation, people assuming that they are trying in 2 days in order to change the constitution. We didn't know all this. We trusted them. That's what life is about. People can even lure you into something and do. People get married to the wrong person. No, the person was beautiful. She was promised me heaven on earth, or he was promising me heaven on earth. But then when you get to know who the person is, it's something else. That's how human beings are. The fact that they didn't have not integrity is not Zimbabwe's problem. We believed in them. It's for them to prove to us that they actually meant what they said from the beginning by saving our people. Now that they wake up and start abusing us, we can't now blame ourselves for that. I think we need to, let's just send some grace. We need to extend grace to each other and say, Zimbabweans, this is where we are now. Where to from here? But we cannot keep on beating ourselves because of what happened during the time of the coup. It happened. Water under the bridge. Where to from here is we need to find ways to bring sanity in our society. As much as we love this politics, I am personally support Citizen Coalition for Change. But I have to be honest, I really want to live in a society that is balanced. I'm tired of the toxicity and how our people are divided. I want to see a community that understands that together we can do more. That when we hold hands, we can build a great Zimbabwe that we all want. That we should never have the rich and the poor. We must have also middle class. Everyone should afford a decent meal. We have minerals, almost 63 minerals in our country. We are the richest actually in Africa, but yet the poorest. Why? Because we are just failing to manage with the Lord has blessed us. Zimbabwe is the most blessed country for your own information. God loves us. Imagine he chose us and gave us 63 minerals to say, I don't want you guys to suffer. It's what we do with the minerals. It's what we do with the Lord that has blessed us. So we can't blame ourselves for few people who have decided to hold us at ransom because they've got a gun. They're holding a gun and make sure that we subject ourselves to their wants and needs, their commands. We can't. We need to begin to understand the power that we have when we hold hands. And then we're approaching different spaces. Don't forget that for SADC, it's not only the reports. There are also petitions that were sent. This is why I ask yourself, guys, what do you think? Do you want a free election? I would like to hear what you guys think. Free, fair, credible election, or you don't mind to have a power transition? The transition of power. What do you guys think? I personally do not mind to have free, fair, credible election. But I also love the transition of power. Let me tell you why I would support the transition of power is because it kind of brings our people together. Because then if we can stay for about 6 months or a year without a president or with a president, whatever we agree, and say, let's clean up the house. Let's clean up our country. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. We need a referendum in the country. Let's talk. We are we. Let's come together. Let's have a conversation. I'm talking of genuine conversation, not manipulation. And then we cannot have another election and choose a leader when we know that we are no longer polarized. Because as we stand right now, we are divided. Someone is abducted, but others can say, no, he was not abducted. It was a fake abduction. How can a person fake an abduction and being beaten up and being injected of poison? But this is the kind of society that we've built. A society that is living in denial. because I'm benefiting something. I'm living in denial because I'm eating, because I'm benefiting a tender, because my uncle is one of the ministers where we know we are benefiting. Things doesn't have to work like that. We need to be a society that thinks, did my friend eat? What about my neighbor? What about the children? Did we check the orphanages? What did they eat? What about the disabled people? Are they okay? That's a society that we want. This world is not a home. Let's not be too sold out to this world. It is not a home. We come in and we leave very soon. And we leave with nothing. We came naked, we're going to leave naked. We need to begin to understand that concept. We need to build a society that is so strong, and it begin by talks. So I will be in a position to support transitional government for that reason. Elections are great. Free, fair, credible elections are great. But I want polarization to be dealt with. To clean up, we need to go on a clean up campaign of sorting out the mess within us as families. Because honestly, our families are broken. And it shows in our political space. The hatred towards one another, it definitely filters from our family brokenness. Where we believe that if I'm the only one successful, I must be the only person. So I can subjugate some of my family members because I want to be seen being the only one who can come driving a Mercedes-Benz. Poverty mentality. But a wise person will say, I'm going to do whatever it takes to help whom I can, so I can lift as many as I can in order for us to do away or to do away with poverty. How can we? It happens when we come together and build our country with understanding and be able to help each other. So I am still supporting transitional government, not to neglect the fact that we can have a free, fair, credible election. I think the free, fair, credible election set a precedence to our children, generations after us, even us, to say we will never again allow a sham of an election in our society. Bear in mind, when we say sham of an election, we're kind of using a narrative word. But it's so important for us to get to the bottom of the problem. And so not only was it a sham of an election, we allowed a few people to manipulate the systems that we believed in. That we write in black and white, that this is how we want to do our elections. Some people decided and intentionally premeditated the chaos for their own benefit. Alone on its own, we have set a very toxic precedent that does not promote success and prosperity or posterity in our society. That is a violation of who we are. That's going to be our point of departure. We are tired of this ZANU-PF or CCC. Stop hiding behind the political banner. Come down. We say you have violated the principles that we abide by in our society of building principles that can build a very strong community that have to permeate to families, to society, to a nation, and we can have peace. Today, we are literally a mockery to our brothers and our sisters here in Africa. We can also spill as internationally. Zimbabweans are known. We cannot carry on like this. We need to bring back our sanity. We'll do anything in our power to demand that we get our dignity back. That's what we need to focus on. We are not interested in, we can sham election. That's a very glamorous word. We're going to say, you violated the rules that we've put in place. If it's a constitution, these are parameters that we set as a nation to say we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4. You violated them for your personal gain. We won't allow this in our society. We will remain resolute and put our foot down. We'll draw a line in the sand, not again in our lifetime, even in beyond. A monument must be written. We will not allow this kind of abuse and thuggery in our society. But it will start by us changing our minds. If a politician comes and says, I can give you $100, you're like, my principles first, take your $100. I remember another lady was a counselor, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember which, was it Gutu or something? She said she was called to be bought with $1,000. She said, nope, I won't take your money. These are the people that we need. Even if my kids are hungry, I trust God that is who provides. But I'm not going to subject a community, a nation, into poverty because I've get $1 million. That's the kind of society we need to build. Because we understand that we need our sanity matters. I can only imagine what Songeza is going through right now. Imagine when everyone is just looking for you. Where is Songezo? And you are hiding. That's not how you're supposed to live life. You've betrayed the some people that you are claiming that I am their Secretary General, but in reverse, you betrayed them. Let's build a society that is powerful. So SADC, definitely they said today, discussing about Zimbabwe, and I'm very positive about it. I'm positive. And you heard also later I said Mr. Mnangagwa is afraid of President Nelson Chamisa. And that's a fact. You can see where they tried to block SADC. You remember when George Charamba and Mangwana were busy fighting Dr. Mumba. They're doing their job. It's principled men. In your workplaces, you have got principles, or you have got do's and don'ts, right? Why is it so difficult for us to apply the very same principles in our country? Why do we allow feja kind of lifestyle? Somebody has been using that word. You know? No. We want to have a country that functions and respect our constitution. But it starts with you and me changing our minds. One of the things that ZANU-PF have done so well is to capture Zimbabweans' mind. It's pauperize the masses so that they can manipulate, to keep you in poverty. Because when you are poor, you can accept anything. Look how they are reducing mighty men. Songezo has got 4 kids, 3 boys and 1 girl. So he confirmed. Imagine raising men. Men are literally carrying a legacy. They're great people. And a father who is being bought to betray innocent people without thinking about the consequences that will come with his actions. That his children will pay for his sins. And the Bible says that their children pays because of the sins of their fathers. He doesn't think about it. That people's tears, the elders who were running from pillar and post, what about those that were abducted, those that were killed? What about our society in the rural areas? Some houses were burned. You betrayed such people. Because of what? Whatever that you gain from it, but it will come with consequences. So don't be fooled. SADC definitely had Zimbabwe on the agenda today. Hichilema confirmed. Also Nelson Chamisa confirmed the same. And very, very, very interesting that actually, remember, apart from all these, the Triple C case with Songezo, FAS is also, again, FAS, ZANU-PF by-election campaign. They're also leading the same by-election, FAS Forever Association in Zimbabwe, which is for ZANU-PF as wing. And they will never stop to amaze me. They will never stop to amaze me, these people. They will never. They will never. And they don't even care, actually. They do not care what you guys think. So Nelson Chamisa said Zim still on SADC's agenda. That's Nelson Chamisa. So the Citizen Coalition for Change, Nelson Chamisa, says Zimbabwe remains on the agenda of the Southern African Development Community SADC. Extraordinary summit is set for Angola on Saturday, which is today. So they said today, we are yet to wait for the outcome of this meeting. Triple C leader Nelson Chamisa on September 26 wrote to SADC Executive Secretary Elias Magosi requesting the regional body to mediate dialogue among the main political players to address the political crisis bedeviling the country following the disputed 23 August and 24th harmonized elections. Foreign Affairs and International Trade Minister Frederick Shava also confirmed that the regional groupings chairperson Angolan also going to officiate that meeting in Angola, which happened today. So for those that were saying, no, it's over, you know, ZANU-PF, of course, it's over. No, it's not over. It's not over until God says it is over. We're still on. That election was a sham. You can't call that an election. It was nothing but an embarrassment. We need free, fair, and credible election in order for us to fix our ills in Zimbabwe. You cannot mess up with. We can't play with that. It is important. Don't buy those that are telling you that no, SADC is not important. It is very important. It is there for a reason. It is there for a reason. So there is actually a political party that is on the horizon. I heard someone mentioned there's a political party that wants to be happening in Zimbabwe. This is why there's a lot of chaos that you see. People are trying to sabotage Nelson Chamisa, but you can't sabotage what's on the heart here. We are in love with his leadership. So we can't be manipulated at all. We can't. We can't. Honestly, we can't. So I love what Set Free to say, Nerera Mafukidze. He said, Nelson Chamisa has done all he can to make things happen and work for the opposition, though he may have had to make use of strategies which are very unusual in Zimbabwean politics. I believe he is unmatched. What disappoints me, however, is the number of people who simply write on this man's name, the number of people who have put faith in President Nelson Chamisa's name. I don't know what he's referring to. People, it's time to think for yourself once. Stop waiting for signals and reactions from Chamisa. Fight the injustice you see without expecting a match orchestrated by Chamisa. I'm tired of reading a grown man or woman writing about Chamisa and putting all hope on him. Chamisa is just one man. What are you all doing? What are you helping him? All you want is for him to do things for you. No, I agree. We need to understand that we deserve a better Zimbabwe. That's why I said our minds has to change. Zimbabweans, the battle really is in the minds. The battle is in our minds to understand the power that you carry without have to outsource, knowing that as much as we have a leader, Nelson Chamisa, he's human. He's human. And leadership is not easy. Nelson Chamisa is surrounded by criticism all the time. And what we can do is to keep on being positive. Speaking life. And then I'm a firm believer that when you speak positive, you attract good. But if you're negative, nothing works. We can't be a people we always thrive in criticizing people. Let's learn to believe in each other. If I can only imagine, if all of us Zimbabweans, because the truth is, those who are against us are actually few. We are more than the ones that are against us. But why can't we just come together and say it is enough? And we do it family and say, no, we stand with what we believe in. This country has to be fixed. We need to fix this country. We can't keep on becoming a curse, an ill neighbor. Countries are tired of Zimbabweans. We are tired of ourselves. Let's fix the country. Not because of Nelson Chamisa, not because of anybody, because we know what we are capable of. When we come together and hold hands and say together we can free ourselves as a Zimbabwean people. Together we can create a society that is conducive for everyone to live. Together we can. Last boy said the president Nelson Chamisa is not weak. Agreed. Chamisa is the most strongest man actually. Yeah, if he was weak, ZANU-PF couldn't spend such a lot of money. Couldn't write all this script, couldn't buy judges, couldn't buy whoever they're buying, allegedly. Buying judges, allegedly. They couldn't be buying them if there is a case. Capturing all institutions. You have heard Songezo say it about Scala. He said it. If Chamisa was strong. But because he's strong. They said, the stronger you are, the greater the devils you're fighting. The greater the destiny, the stronger the devils you're fighting. So citizens are not also weak. We know very well the elephant in the room. Everything is captured, but we aren't going back. We stand with Triple C, President Nelson Chamisa. I second that. I stand with him day in, day out. I am not going to give up. I believe in his leadership. I truly, honestly believe in the leadership of Nelson Chamisa. I believe that Nelson Chamisa is what Zimbabwe really needs right now. Especially in such a toxic environment, we need someone who can bring a peaceful way of leadership. Someone who believes in working with other people. Some people are trying to call him a dictator because they want to just trying to cause chaos. As if when you compare Chamisa with this regime, honestly, some are blaming him that he's always speaking verses, but they're forgetting that where we are right now, we are also being controlled by spirit. Verses is a spiritual, transaction. We are also being controlled by spirits as well. These people are consulting as we speak. One of my friends told me that most of the ZANU-PF people that you see, before 8 a.m., they've gone to Sangomas, prophets, seeking peace. He was being the system. He said, I gave my life to Christ as soon as I resigned from this system, my sister, for a reason. He said, because my life was messed up. But I know people who are going to Sangoma, Nganga after Nganga, Maprofita, for peace. Do you think it's easy to murder innocent people? Do you think it's easy to abuse people? No, it's not easy. It's not easy. So we can't denounce and discourage people when they speak scriptures because it's so important. We all know that our weapon of warfare are not carnal, but they are mighty through God to bring down every stronghold. And we remain resolute. We keep on unleashing scriptures. We keep on calling God to battle so that he can go before us and make all the crooked ways straight so he can fight on our behalf. We know that God is able to do exceedingly abundantly above and beyond. We are not shaking on that. We are very much aware that when we call the God of war, he can fight on our behalf. And that's what people don't want to hear. When you speak scripture, they're like, silence is the devil. Speaking like he did to Peter and said, hey, shut up. Or speaking. That's what's going on here. Don't let people shut you down when you're speaking good. Keep speaking scriptures. Speak scriptures, don't stop. Because it's the word that is powerful. The word is powerful and it can become life. In the beginning there was a word, and the word was with God. And the word was God. We speak the word. We are made by the words. When we speak words, we create. Isn't it? Everything that you want to do, you speak. Why are we stopping speaking about the change of this country? Why do they keep on silencing you? It's because they know where the power is. The power is in your tongue, in your words. Is when you declare truth, they say silent. When you start to speak any voice of reason, they want to silence it. What? Because they know their voices are powerful. And we must never, never again subject ourselves to slavery and manipulation when we know the power that we carry through our words. We keep speaking life. That's all that I have for you right now. SADC, we are waiting for the report and the answer. So let's keep hopeful. I believe that when hope is there, when hope arises, everything settles. Please, guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And for those, please just pass your comments there and we can have a conversation. I'll see you tomorrow. I love you all. And I'm going to bring some spiritual things on like a spiritual Sunday, and I can begin to teach you the Bible to understand how to really upright the Bible, and it must work. It is to work. I love you all, and God bless you. God bless Zimbabwe. Bless you all.